So, what is Agile? Uh, Agile is a family of methodologies or frameworks which are iterative and incremental in nature. Uh, so, Agile is a common name for a set of frameworks like Scrum, Extreme Programming, that is XP, Test Driven Development, TDD, Feature Driven Development, FDD, then Scaled Agile Framework, that is SAFe. There are a number of additional new things also, DSDD, etc., etc. So all these frameworks, collectively we call them as agile family. Out of this, the most popular one is Scrum because it is not domain specific. Because XP is definitely for software, and that is the case with TDD, FDD, SAFe. But Scrum can be applied on multiple domains. Even though it was started for IT projects, it is not that domain specific. Any project can adopt the Scrum framework. Personally, I've helped a team of lawyers to analyze their cases and submit an expert opinion. That was their day-to-day project. So they never wanted a heavyweight process. So we went with Scrum and implemented for them. These days, Scrum is adopted more and more by multiple streams of projects, even EPC project during the planning phase or during the engineering phase, that becomes a right candidate for Scrum. Scrum was founded by Ken Squaber and Jeff Sutherland almost 35 years back. So it is not that new, but now it is really gaining momentum. And when do we really go for agile frameworks? Basically, this is for new product development because for new products, the requirements will be evolving very fast. At the same time, the technology also can be very new to the team. There can be a learning curve. So it is impossible to come out with a end-to-end schedule because it is not feasible. There are lots of known unknowns. So we need a model which is both iterative and incremental. So we continuously iterate and we increment. So all these models are iterative and incremental in nature. Now, so clear. Okay, now let us move forward. Yeah, now let us I'm unable to scroll down. What happened? So, suitability of agile, when the requirements are very clear and when the technology is familiar, we can always use predictive or waterfall models. Then there are projects where requirements are continuously evolving and technology is also very new. AI projects is a classical example for this because AI in one shot we cannot complete an AI project because there is a learning involved and it has to be continuously validated. So all AI projects or all new product development is a good candidate for agile. Whereas when it comes to real construction, maybe the engineering phase of a EPC project or a construction project can be a good candidate for Scrum. But at the same time, when we really start the real construction, there need to be complete clarity. The engineering specifications must be very, very clear, because in the construction domain, the rework or modifications are very, very difficult. Then that is not the case with a new product development or a new website development or a new web application development or a new AI project, because the change is very easy, because here we are dealing with IT, and the requirements can only evolve over a period of time. So it is impossible to plan it end to end. Even if you plan, the plan will go wrong very fast. Uh, so here is the agile. We have this agile manifesto here. Uh, the first thing about the agile manifesto is individuals and interactions over process and tools. That means we follow processes, all value adding processes and tools we will follow, but at the same time we value individuals and interactions more than blindly following processes. Then we working software over comprehensive documentation. So it says working software is the real measure of progress, not the percentage completion reports, etc. Then we believe in customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Uh, yeah, so that means the agile teams and the customer must work together in delivering a great product. So we don't get into contract negotiation every now and then. Then we believe in responding to change over following a plan. That means from the beginning of the project onwards, we know that change is inevitable, changes will come. So we welcome changes even late in the product, because if you don't do that, we will not be able to deliver a high value product. We'll be able to deliver only a suboptimal product. So, in an iterative and incremental approach, at the end of each iteration, the client can see what is being built, and he or she should be allowed to, based on what they saw, they should be allowed to give their additional inputs so that we can make the product more valuable to them. So this is the Agile manifesto. The origin of this was when the IT started, people started imposing all the heavyweight ISO related processes onto IT. And some of the thought leaders in the IT fought against it, and they said IT changes are very easy. It is not as difficult as construction projects. So we need a lightweight system which can embrace changes very easily, and at the same time, which allows for absolute collaboration between the team and the customer. That is the background of this Agile manifesto. Then see, now fixed price contract, how will it work in this kind of an environment where changes are welcomed? Yes, that is a concern. So we need a contract type which can accommodate changes without too much discussions and negotiations and stuff like that. We'll discuss about it as we proceed. Then Agile principles. There are 12 Agile principles. Agile principles and values are the foundation of Agile methodologies. Here they are. Customer satisfaction through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. We are talking about, let me expand the screen. Yeah. Yeah. So the 12 Agile principles. Customer satisfaction through early and continuous delivery. So we are not looking for big bang delivery at the end of the project. Maybe every 30 days or every 15-day cycles, we we deliver something to the client, or at least we demonstrate the product increment to the client. We welcome changing requirements even late in the development process. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. When the customer sees something, they can think better, and they may have a lot of suggestions to be included in the product. So, agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. Agile teams deliver working software frequently with a preference for shorter time scales. So, maximum iteration duration is 30 days, maximum allowed is 30 days or less than 30 days. Business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. So it calls for high degree of collaboration between business people and developers, and build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. So here we are talking about highly motivated teams as a prerequisite for doing agile. Because in agile, one of the key elements of agile is self-organizing teams. That means self-organizing teams can work independently without much supervision. So we need a highly motivated team. Otherwise, things will not move in a self-organizing team. And trust them to get the job done. Then the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within the development team is face-to-face conversation. So as far as possible, agile teams promote face-to-face conversation. Initially, when everybody was co-located, then we had the luxury of having daily team meeting, etc., face to face. But now, since people have started working from home, etc., we may have to collaborate through online meetings, etc. But then make it mandatory to switch on the cameras so that at least we can see each other's face. Then working software is a primary measure of progress, and agile processes promote sustainable development. That means the sponsors, developers, users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. That means till the completion of the product, the entire team should be able to work very effectively. So when we say sustainable development, here primarily we are advocating 8-hour work days, 5 days a week. So after 8 hours, people should not spend time in the office. They should go home, relax, get ready for the next day, and come back and again work for 8 hours with full enthusiasm. So that is the idea. We need sustainable development. We don't want heroism like today you work for 15 hours and tomorrow 5 hours kind of thing. Then continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. On the one side, we are talking about accommodating changes, and this is not possible if you don't have a highly modular design. The design must be highly modular so that change becomes easier. Then simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential, because agile is based on lean principles as well. So very often we keep asking this question like, why am I doing this step? If I don't do this, what is the impact on the final product? Very often in software, we used to start with the software requirement specification, which is a bulky document. But then later on development, nobody sees that document. Everybody starts working with some program specifications uh, uh, and some sketches, wireframes, etc. Nobody goes back to these software requirement specifications. In such cases, don't do this bulky SRS or software requirement specifications on day one. If you want to deliver it as a deliverable to the client for contractual obligations, then do it at the end of the project and then deliver. Don't burden the team by creating an SRS, booking it under configuration management, and booking it under change management process. That is a lot of non-value adding work. So always look for the art of look for opportunities to eliminate non-value adding work so that we can become more efficient. The best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self organizing teams. So, in Agile, we are talking about highly empowered teams. They work as a unit, they collaborate. So, when we trust them and when the team is highly motivated and capable, they can always come out with the best of the best architectures and requirements and designs. Then, at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. So, these are the 12 agile principles. So, we saw the Agile Manifesto and we saw the Agile principles, and we started by looking at what is Agile. We said it is a there are n number of frameworks which are both iterative and incremental. At the end of each iteration, the product gets incremented a little bit. Some of the sample frameworks are Scrum, XP, TDD, FDD, SAFe. Out of this, Scrum is the most popular one because it is domain independent. Then we discussed about in what kind of projects this agile can fit in. We said new product development, AI projects, any project where requirements are highly evolving, technology is new, and the domain allows for changes very easily, then agile is the right candidate there. Then we discussed about Agile Manifesto, and we also discussed about 12 Agile principles. Now, let us move on to take a quick look at the Scrum framework, the most popular among all Agile framework. Founded by Ken Squaber and Jeff Sutherland, they defined the Scrum framework. It is a principle-centered, lightweight framework comprising of few artifacts, actors, and ceremonies. More detailed expansion of Scrum is provided in the subsequent pages. Okay. Now here there is a link. You can download the Scrum guide if you want to. It is a 14 or 15 page document created by the founders of Scrum. That is Ken Squaber and Jeff Sutherland. Now here is the Scrum framework. We here at the beginning, okay, we have a product backlog. Product backlog is a repository of all the requirements that may or may not get into the product. So we have this repository of the product backlog entries here. This is owned by the product owner, and this is allowed to grow continuously. That means when the product backlog is not growing, that means the product is almost getting stabilized or it is getting end of life. So it is allowed to grow indefinitely. Then we have the Scrum team. We get into a sprint planning meeting where the product owner suggests the features that need to be developed during the sprint. The sprint planning meeting is time boxed into 7 hours, and at the end of the 7 hour meeting, there is a consensus on what are things the team can develop in the next iteration, and then that committed work for the next iteration or the next sprint we call as the sprint backlog. So sprint backlog is a subset of the product backlog, which comes as an output of the sprint planning meeting. And the sprint planning meeting for a 30-day sprint is almost 7 hours. That is one day, attended by the full team, the product owner, and the scrum master. And the output is the sprint backlog. And the team starts working on it. And every day there is a daily team meeting. We call it as a daily scrum. And at the end of the sprint, maybe the 30-day, if it is 30-day sprint, on the 30th day, there is a sprint review where the increment of the product that is built during the sprint is demonstrated and reviewed, demonstrated to the key stakeholders. And then, if all the features here, agreed upon features, are completed and it passes the acceptance criteria, then the sprint is successful. But if it is not completed, the sprint is a failure. Then the team gets into a sprint retrospective meeting where they discuss things like what all things we did right and what all things could have been done better. And then they move back they go back to the next round of sprint planning meeting. So this cycle keeps repeating till the end of the product. So it is both iterative and incremental in nature. Now, if you want to download the Scrum Guide, by clicking here also, you can download the Scrum Guide. And my advice is go to this page. The link to this page is given at the end of the video. Go to this page, read this page fully. Now, after watching this video, you will have a fair idea. It will be very easy to go through. And if you can download the Scrum Guide and go through it, that will again reinforce your knowledge about agile projects. When we transition from predictive to agile, there will be many contradictions. So that is okay because these two are two different styles of managing two different types of projects. Predictive is requirements are absolutely clear. And the technology is also very familiar and the domain doesn't allow for change. Then we go with predictive. Maybe the construction phase within a construction project, a great candidate for predictive. There we cannot apply agile. But when it comes to new product development or engineering design, etc., agile is the right fit. So a comparison of which one is better, and that is not very valid because two different types of project, nature of projects, you have to pick and choose. And we have hybrid again, where we mix and match the best of both predictive and agile. That we'll discuss later. So at the end of this session, I'm sure that you would have got a fair idea about what is agile, agile manifesto, the 12 agile principles, then an overview of Scrum, and we discussed a little bit about product backlog, sprint planning meeting, sprint backlog, sprinting, sprint review, sprint review, daily Scrum, and a sprint retrospective. We'll elaborate each of these things in detail as we proceed. So thank you for watching this.